spaghetti hose.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Welcome to Pod Minutes to Cast Night, the 2 minutes to late night podcast. It's not like the show. We don't do the same thing. On this podcast, we listen to albums that people don't like and try to be nice about them. It doesn't always work like that. But you're here with the 2 minutes to late night writers room. All of them.
Yeah, we're back. It's like back to school hours.
It's back to school hours. It's September. Welcome.
Oh, what's up? I'm Jeremy Hammond. I just got back from wherever they said I was the past 2 episodes I wasn't here.
No one's cared. We didn't say anything.
All right, cool. Well, because you guys made up a whole story the last time I
all.
was gone for a while.
Well,
It was that you had a life tragedy.
Yeah, you were going through trauma, so we just made up something nice, but I guess we can talk about it if you want in the public forum.
No, that's fine. I swam with dolphins, and that's what I was going to say.
Guys, Jeremy is finally back from getting hit by a bus.
Jeremy got hit by a train he tried to interview.
He looks amazing.
Hello, it is me, Katie Rose Leon, America's sweetheart, here back from the Mamma Mia pasta eating contest. We got bucatini, we got rigatonis, we got little chicken and stars, and let me tell you, everyone's a winner.
But do you have spaghetti hose?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what's missing. That's what's missing from the what's the Italian festival called?
Which
in New York?
one?
San Gennaro.
What is it?
The Feast of San Gennaro.
Yeah,
San
the Feast
Gennaro.
of San Gennaro needs SpaghettiOs. They need like one.
You can't find
They need
spaghetti
like one
anymore.
bucket, and you put your head in, and whoever pulls out the golden spaghettio becomes the heir of the Chef Boyardee factory, like Willy Wonka.
That is also like the one like weird shitty snack that they haven't like tried to repurpose and make cool again.
Because it was disgusting.
Oh, dude, I love spaghetti.
What
Yeah.
kind of Italian
Look at this
are
bitch
you?
over here. He
They're
loves
so
spaghetti.
good. They're so good.
Oh,
But
my-
I was going to say, you can't find them anymore. They only make them in little kid-sized cans now, as if to, like, tell you it's time to move on.
It's not stopping me. I just buy more of them.
We have to introduce our guest this week. We have a
Did
special
Drew-
guest. Oh,
You got like
I'm not
Drew,
that special.
Drew, you went right? No, you did.
No,
San
hey,
Gennaro.
what's up? This is Drew, and Jordan always skips me. Also, my
Don't read
right
into
before I
it.
started this podcast, my neighbor took my laundry out of the washing machine and passive-aggressively moved it into the dryer. So I think I'm going to let it sit in there and see if they'll fold it for me passive-aggressively, too.
You're the worst roommate ever.
No, not even a roommate. It's a neighbor, so I don't even know who it is.
Oh shit.
It's public.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be one of 7 lovely families. Or me, the white dude with tattoos.
We also have a special guest this week, all from Red Dead Redemption, the metal band.
Brilliant.
Please welcome their bass player, aka if Lemmy was a gorgeous goth vampire, Billy from Cloak.
Oh hey, what's up, guys? I'm Billy C. Robinson from Cloak, and I do not have the clap.
We
That
found
part's
that
gonna
out
be-
earlier.
Just I feel like
from the
yeah,
beginning
okay.
He said that so confidently.
In case anybody was wondering.
Yeah,
I don't.
we clapped at the on this podcast to sync up audio that's coming from different locations. We do a clap, like a slate in movies, and we made that joke earlier. And Billy went, "I had that one time."
No, not true, all you adoring fans. I've never had the clap. And
Good.
Groupies, please still come to our shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, rock and roll.
rock and roll.
something like that,
Groupie
yeah.
culture is healthy now.
It's actually a terrible lifestyle, and I do not condone it.
It's important to get your sexual wellness checked up on the regular.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Support
yes, that's
Planned
worth pointing out.
Parenthood.
Support Planned Parenthood. How about this week? Just donate to them instead of the Patreon. No, please.
No,
donate to
don't,
them.
No, don't do that.
don't
It's
do that.
really hard to. It's. If it were easier to do that, maybe.
Yeah, It's really hard to not donate and then donate again. Just don't do that.
And on that note, honorableswords.com, new and improved with links to our new t-shirts like Poser Cops and Hard Melissa. No, wait, that's an old one.
No, we have
Weird
that one
Elvira.
isn't out yet. Let's do this again. Drew, do this.
It's
The new
And
one.
leave it in. It stays.
All right,
No,
all right.
we have to advertise the shirts. Drew,
We have to. And
talk
on that
about the
note,
shirts.
And on that note, honorableswords.com, new and improved with links to our merchandise. We got a new Poser Cops t-shirt. It's double-sided, and we also got a Weird Elvira t-shirt. It's one-sided, but if you buy some fabric paint, you could make it two-sided and make your mom happy. honorableswords.com. It's a real website with real links that you can click on, and you can't eat a website, but if you could, it'd taste pretty damn good. Honorable Swords.
Woo!
Arigato gozaimasu.
All
That
right.
was a perfect radio commercial, like just speedy, just got through it. Fucking dub in some air horns at the end.
Okay.
You earned it. All right.
Oh, am
before
I
we
editing
get-
this? Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, you are.
All right. Before we get started with this week's album, Katie, what did you listen to this week?
Can we do someone else first?
Yes, Jeremy, what did you listen to?
Oh,
Nothing.
well,
The answer was nothing.
I listen to Katie.
I don't actually like music.
Billy, the fact that it's so apropos that you are like video chatting from the shadows with a symbol in the back, like
Oh, it's
You-
the Cloak logo, by the way. That's our old banner.
the most. No one can
can-
even see
can-
this. You guys are so committed. to
Yeah, this is
keeping up
actually
appearances.
kind of creepy, but it's fine.
I just ordered like a 2 minutes towel that has our logo real big on it. We should put it in the back on the back wall. Just for when people video chat in so we look real pro.
I also want to point out that we don't get our own merch for free, by the way, because we don't print it ourselves. We have like someone print it. So Jordan and I at least have paid at least $140 for our own t-shirts.
Yeah, I definitely spent like 40 at least, maybe probably more.
I just do it so I can because I think it'll be really cute to have like a shirt with my friend on it, but then I realize, oh no, I'm just like walking around. To outside people, I just look like a dad who has like really old children. Like people would probably think Emily Panic is like my daughter that I had when I was in high school.
I love my daughter who's older than me.
My older than me daughter. Jeremy, what did you listen to on the planes or the train or whatever?
Oh, well, I had a car for a little bit when I was in. I just came back from Portugal, and I don't have any band names specifically to recommend to people. But if you're ever in Portugal, listen to the radio, man. Like they have like no, I'm not kidding though. They have like modern rock stations, which we don't really have as much here anymore. Like you can't just turn on radio and see like what's coming out now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
In my Uber on the way here, the guy was listening to a rock station, and the songs that were played were Mr. Brightside, Jet, and then Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin.
Ugh.
It was fucking awful.
At least one of those is good.
One of those is good.
I love Jet. They fucking
Yeah, man.
slap.
Hell yeah,
Jet
Mr.
is exactly
Brightside.
what I
What a
was talking
fucking
about.
classic.
Ugh. Here's the thing. I still just can't believe like those songs. I hear those songs every day. I hear Mr. Brightside and Jet, like that shit gets played every day.
Yeah.
Well,
If you
there was
told
like
me-
a whole thing about how like the state of rock, quote unquote rock music is so bad that Mr. Brightside like became a hit single again 10 years later because people listen to it so much because there's not really been anything that big in 10 years since then.
And
Why? It just
that's where we're
doesn't-
at as a culture. We have to recycle singles that were cool 10 years ago. Oh, here, this is cool again. I guess because there's nothing else.
Well, the teens
Yeah.
like it.
I think it's literally just from like I don't know that dog meme of like the dog in the cage and then outside the cage that said coming out of my cage, and then people were like Mr. Brightside, and then it became a meme
Nice,
again.
dude.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
right.
Hell yeah.
What a
Meme music
fucking
works.
class
Look at Lil
song.
Nas.
It is true that I listen to Bon Jovi every time I see one of those dog elected mayor
Yeah.
things on the internet.
Bon Jovi never stopped being cool.
And neither
Yeah.
did Dog Mares.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Anyways, the short version of my thing is if you're ever in Portugal, listen to the modern Portuguese rock music because I have no idea who any of them are or what anybody was saying in anything that they were but it's all pretty good. I
All right.
liked it.
Sick.
That's fair.
Wow.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah, man. That response wasn't like overwhelming or underwhelming. It was whelming.
Yeah.
It was mid level.
It's just nice to be able to listen
Drew,
to
what'd you
rock on
listen-
the radio, man.
Sure. Drew,
Yeah.
what'd you listen to?
I didn't listen to anything particularly new, but I did start playing a board game called Ticket to Ride, which is about
Hell yes,
trains.
I love that game.
I know you do. That's why I brought it up. This is for you, Jeremy. So I made a playlist called Trains Bitch for the whole game, and it's all songs about trains or with the word train in them or by the band Train. And there's 4 different versions of Crazy Train on it. Let me tell you, nothing tests friendship quite like making someone listen to 4 different versions of Crazy Train.
Do you not
Spoiler
shuffle
alert,
it?
there's only one good one.
Is the what's it, Pat Boone version on there?
Oh, of course it is. There's Pat
hell
Boone
yeah.
live in Budokan, the live one that's even worse from the 90s. There's Tribute, there's the original. I got everything, man. It is an unlistenable playlist, and I am soon to be friendless.
Goodbye
You're in
to
good
friendship.
company, though.
Katie.
Fall's here, and I've been listening to the new Sheer Mac that came out a few
Yes.
weeks ago.
Ooh,
It's
that
pretty
band
sick.
Hell
rules.
yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
yes.
they're really cool. I'm sorry, I always get a brain fart when you first ask me that question because I feel like a pop quiz moment where
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to be cool, but then I'm like, I am cool. But yeah, no, I've been really enjoying it, and it's funny because it's a band that I've always known about, but for whatever reason, I never fucked with before, and then I'm like, what have I been doing with my time?
Yeah.
So now I've been listening to their new album. What the hell is it called? I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry, friends. Distant Call. But then I've just been going through their catalog now because it's so enjoyable, and I really suggest it.
I haven't heard
Yeah,
the
they're so good.
I haven't heard the new one, but the older stuff that I was familiar with, like I used to live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, until like earlier this year when I moved to Atlanta. But like they would come through like twice a year, and so I got into it through a lot of my punk friends. I never actually saw them, but when I started listening to the records, I was like, this is like Thin Lizzy with like really cute vocals. Like
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly
it's
how
like,
I would
like
describe it.
Like in other words, it fucking rules. Like yeah. Like I love Thin Lizzy. I love these guitar lines, but they're doing it all lo-fi and like there's like just like I don't know. The vocals are really high pitched, but like super melodic and amazing. And like I don't know. I was really into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It
like
rules.
I want to put on a scarf and feel a way about something. You know?
Yeah. I sell them as like Shannon and the Clams meets Boston before he grilled himself in a garage.
Dude, you nailed it. And I love Boston. Don't even
I love
don't
Boston
even get me,
too.
don't
I
even get
love
me
Boston.
started.
It's so sad that he put his own shrimp on the Barbie.
It really is.
Jesus.
Babe.
It sounds like the way you're describing it. It sounds like he cooked his own dick to death. But what actually happened is so much sadder. It's the most. It's one of the most bizarre and depressing deaths of all time.
Anyway, Jordan, what have you listened to?
I love my favorite part of Boston. I will tell you. But my favorite part of Boston is that it just looks like a band full of Bob Rosses, but they're all shredding and harmonizing like little
Yeah.
angels.
Dude,
It's
that's
fucking
totally it, man. Like, dude, that first Boston record is unfuckwithable, like completely. Like,
Absolutely.
it's 9 straight up fucking hits. It rules.
It should be the
I'll
fucking
never
president,
apologize for loving that shit. It's amazing.
Me neither. People, I heard, I don't remember where, but someone used them as like an example of like a shitty band. I'm like,
What?
they're
What?
an incredible band.
Did you punch that
They-
person immediately?
I
think-
must have.
I think
I
people
hope
get
you
them
did.
and Chicago confused a lot.
That's probably true.
You know, they got that name problem.
Yeah, if you're named
Yeah.
after a place, people assume that you suck.
Yeah, but all
that's a
bands that are
fair
named after
assumption.
places rule. Think about it. Boston,
Yeah.
Chicago,
Kansas.
Asia. That's not a good example, but Asia. Europe.
America did the soundtrack to the classic film The Last Unicorn.
You are correct.
Yeah.
But yes, this week a ton. There was just so much new stuff coming out, and I'm a little overwhelmed thinking about it. But I want to Like, I want to mention the Chelsea Wolf album
Oh,
is
shit.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't care. All of our fans are gonna be mad. The two new Ghost songs are really good.
Yeah,
They're good.
yeah.
It's a really good.
Dude, I love him. I love
Dude.
Ghost, so I'm outing myself right now.
It's great. Everyone's like, oh,
This is a safe space for new Ghost likers.
yeah. It's I don't know. They wanted to like go back in time and like do like a 60s style record, like a weird indie record. And so the context that they put it, they used like the weird narrative that they built as a band. Now, since they like change lead singers all the time and they've made like their Pope character a weird old man in all of their viral advertising.
Yeah.
So they did a video where the old man is like, what if we did the re-release of my old single? And so the whole album is just like as if it's that old man's old songs. And it's so sick.
I love that.
It's
fun.
so fun.
I just watched that video the other day. I guess it was right after it came out, whatever. And I was I had way too much fun. This shit rules. I love it.
I'm such a dweeb for a concept. I love a concept, and I hate that I'm that person, but here I am.
Look, yeah, I love it too. I love a band who uses their concept well. And if you're gonna have a narrative, it should be to do shit like this, like time travels through sound.
Dude, right?
That rules.
Like this is what makes a really good classic band. I mean, it's the same thing that Kiss did. Like,
Yep.
whatever your feelings are on Kiss, whatever. Like, I'm digging myself a deeper hole.
No, you're fine.
I
Ghost
love
has a
it.
dildo, and so does Kiss.
Yes,
I get it.
But no, like I love bands who do that, who like create mythologies around themselves. Like it just makes it way more fun and cool.
Yeah, dude, it rules. I'm with you. I have to apologize for liking that band all the time.
Don't.
But I mean, it feels weird because I'm like, it feels like
You don't have to
it's-
apologize for liking them. You just have to clarify, like, you like the music and you don't like lawsuits.
I don't like lawsuits at all, but I do think that him getting in so many lawsuits for being an evil person is really funny because the band is all about how they're the most evil thing, and I'm like, heads up.
Yeah, and the
works.
dude
Yeah.
like literally is like the worst person ever. He's a terrible, evil person who writes amazing pop songs.
Love it.
Which is
Love it. I
everyone
love
who
a
writes
guitar
amazing
mini-
pop songs, honestly.
Yeah.
We're all
think-
bad people. We're all
Yeah, I don't
musicians are
wanna-
terrible.
I'm perfect.
No one interview Robin. She's the
It's
only.
because you're not a
person I don't-
musician. Or are you? I don't know.
true.
I have no idea who you are. I have no idea.
I'm just a,
That is America's sweetheart, Katie Rose Leon, that you
I'm
did.
a
I'm
media
just kidding. I'm actually a
personality.
long-time fan of this podcast. I know who you are. I'm just
Cultural
trying to be
critic,
cool.
Katie Rose Leon.
He just sucked up to you, saying he was a fan of the podcast, and he knows who you are.
great.
Yeah.
So this is
I
going
love it
well.
when-
Katie already hates me.
No. I love it when men suck up to me, so everyone should do that more in
All right.
general.
Oh, fair enough.
You know what, Billy?
Yo.
What did you listen to this week that you liked?
A lot of stuff. Let me think. Okay, so like new stuff that, because mostly I just listened to stuff that was released before 1990.
Great.
But
Same.
But as far as like new stuff, okay, so there's this band that Scott, my bandmate, just turned me on to. It was something that he was into when he was much younger, when he was a teenager, and it was this horror punk band, which like I've never been into, but this band called Calabrese.
I have heard of
Yeah,
that.
like I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
him until he texted me the other day and was like, dude, listen to this new record from this band Calabrese, is the band I used to be into. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm just like looking at all their artwork and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the cheesiest, stupidest Hot Topic crap ever. And then I heard this album that's called Flee the Light. I guess it just came out. And it is amazing. It fucking rules. Like it's like if you took Danzig vocals and then mashed it up with like The Cult and Sisters of Mercy and then like I don't know, Ghost even, or like something even along those lines. Like it's poppy, it's punk, and it rules. And you guys should listen to it.
That sounds good.
That does sound really good because I remember a lot of my punk friends pushing that band on me when I was in high school because they were like, "You love Danzig," and I was like, "Yes." And then I listened to it and it was totally fine. But it makes a lot of sense that like 15 years later they would kick ass.
Right, yeah, because then I got curious and I started listening to like their earlier stuff that I had missed when I was that age. Because like when I was 13, 14, like the age that I would have been into that, I just wasn't. Like I kind of missed the whole punk thing. Like I went straight into like classic rock. Like I was a weird kid. Like I was the kid that all my friends thought were weird, but their dads loved me. Like
Yeah.
Same, dude.
I was
Fucking
like learning how to play guitar by listening to Gn'R records, like and Aerosmith, and like, and you know, like I was a weird kid, but so I went back and like listened to some of this band's earlier stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, not for me. That's kind of what I expected it to sound like. This new record, holy shit, dude! It's like this band grew up and made a really, really good, solid record. Like it's really awesome, and I've listened to it like 5 times now.
I'm gonna listen to it the next time I'm like commuting or on the train or something because that I'm thoroughly intrigued. That sounds great. Also, can you describe an outfit that you would maybe have worn when you were like a 13-year-old kid who was into classic rock?
You don't want to know.
Do I really do?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Well, first, so I wanted long hair since I was like 6 years old, but my mom would never let me. It was one of those situations. So I had short hair, but I would always like, you know, I always pictured myself as having long hair and then wearing like basically hippie clothes. That's pretty much what I wore. Like just like stupid shirts and like you know, like I don't know. And it just got worse as I moved towards college, you know, and did that whole thing. And then finally was out on my own, started growing my hair out. Fuck you, Mom. Also, I love you, Mom. My mom is an angel.
Yeah.
But yeah, like and then you know, like I started like I mean I'd been into metal for a while, but then I started moving that way, and I got into bands like Motorhead and all that stuff. And it's like I don't know, like I've always like kind of dressed like what I was listening to. I guess like a lot of us did. But
Oh, like shit.
yeah. Exactly.
Did you have that thing? Because I was a classic rock kid too, and did you have that thing where like no one your age wanted to talk to you, but teachers would want to talk to you about like classic rock?
Yeah,
bands?
yeah, of course. Like, and now for me,
Yeah.
here's an interesting fact about me. I was homeschooled, which everyone is very surprised to learn if you know me because
You have like a real like shoving people into lockers and smoking outside of high school.
if I'd gone to high school, exactly, I would have been doing that. Yeah, I would have been terrible.
Yeah.
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 I always idolized the bad kids, you know? I mean, I had enough friends who were in public school and stuff. Like I was like, I knew, like, oh, those are the kids that I want to hang out with. The guys who are, like, smoking in the bathroom and shit. Like, that's, like, you know.
100%.
Did you just smoke in your own bathroom? Like...
Yes. I used to go down, no, for real, it's a true story. I would find, my
Hell
dad
yeah.
smoked, but he thought that the rest of us didn't know that he smoked, even though he would come home from work every day smelling like cigarette smoke. But he'd hide his cigarettes in his car. And so I found where he hid them, and I would just go down in the garage and smoke cigarettes when no one was looking. And yeah, here I am today.
Yeah.
Still alive, still
When you're
doing
a-
stupid shit.
Yep. I mean, you know, it's weird looking back and when you were like a kid and started smoking, and you're like, why? It wasn't even fun.
No, it wasn't fun.
no,
it was
it was
just
never
exciting
fun.
because I knew I wasn't supposed to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I didn't even like the people who smoked at my school.
Yeah, don't smoke. It's
really bad for
like
you.
Billy looks cool and does look like someone who you would only see at school in the parking lot smoking, but don't do it.
Exactly. Don't do anything that
I think
do,
you should
basically.
do it. I think you should smoke. You'll be so cool and everyone will like you.
Katie, I already tried it, and I'm stuck, but the rest of you guys can save yourselves. Don't
get us
look at me.
90s
Don't
canceled.
idolize me.
We're gonna get 90s canceled. Jeremy?
Yeah, you're gonna get us fucking 90s canceled. That's like some shit that people would have gotten really mad about in the 90s, but people don't really talk about anymore.
Cut school and give in to peer pressure. They just want what's best. Hey, let's talk about the spaghetti
Yeah,
album.
and if you have like a wrapper from a sandwich, you know what? Just crumple it up and put it on the ground. Whatever, man.
No, don't do that. The Ninja Turtles will yell at you. You can't do that, Jeremy. All right, folks, this week we listened to The Spaghetti Incident by Guns N' Roses. This is an album that I had heard that I found out that people hated much later in life. Billy, this was the album you brought to us.
Yes, I did.
So you have a connection with this album. Why don't you tell us your history with this album and why you chose it for the podcast?
Okay, so, well, my history with Guns N' Roses was, like, they were one of the bands that made me want to do what I do now. Like, I mean, like, when I first heard Paradise City on the radio, it blew my fucking mind. Like, I thought that was the coolest shit I'd ever heard. And then I saw pictures of them and was like, yeah, that is awesome. I want snakeskin cowboy boots right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then, like, okay, so the Spaghetti Incident happened. Like, that was like the last studio album that they did before basically the whole band just kind of fell apart. Like, Duff and Slash just said goodbye. Izzy was already out, and
Yeah.
and it was weird. And I think, like, looking back, like, I didn't realize this at the time because I think I came to this a little bit later. Like, let's see, when did this come out? Like 95, 94, 95. So like,
Yeah,
I came to
something
Guns
like
N'
that.
Roses a little bit later because I was about 10 when that happened. I got into it around like 12 or 13, so it would have been like 97, 98 when I actually got into Guns N' Roses. So it kind of already happened. But so the Spaghetti Incident was the one that I just kind of ignored because I was like, well, Appetite for Destruction is the best album of all time. There's not a wrong note on it. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Use Your Illusion, amazing, or, you know, both of them awesome, great. It has November Rain, which is just an incredible freaking song. So, like, I was obsessed with a lot of stuff. And the Spaghetti Incident was like, well, what is that? It's all covers. And I was like, I don't care about that. Bullshit. I don't want to hear them play other music. I want to hear them play them. And so, like, and the whole vibe I got was that, like, everyone else who loved Guns N' Roses was kind of shitting on that album too. It was kind of like a what the fuck moment for them. Like, it's like, okay, so that's the last thing that you recorded, really? Like, it's just a bunch of covers? Like, lame. You mean this isn't Use Your Illusions part 7 through 12? Like, it's just, you know. So yeah, and then it took me years to actually go back and really give it a shot. And then when I did, I realized, holy shit, this rips, man. This is great. This is like the best covers record ever. They're doing like old punk songs that nobody would ever do, and they're doing things like the New York Dolls, and they're like, I don't know, and they're covering Nazareth. Like, I fucking love Nazareth. Nazareth is like the most underrated band of the 70s. Like, and so once I realized that that's what was actually on the record, I was like, this shit rips, dude.
Yeah, man. I had that experience also. Well, I listened to the record and I didn't know, because these are all like really deep cut songs for the most part, or they're popular songs from deeper cut bands. When I first heard this album when I was a kid, I just thought they were Guns N' Roses songs.
Oh yeah, I didn't today.
That's how it happened. Like, I didn't know that the only Nazareth song I knew was their cover of like Love Hurts. But, like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So when I heard Hair of the Dog, I just thought that was a Guns N' Roses song. And then I found all of the other bands through the Spaghetti Incident. Like, I found The Damned through this.
Right, yeah.
I found like regular Nazareth through it. And it's all fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude,
I
it's all bands that like had a powerful influence on Guns N' Roses themselves, like the members themselves, and like that. Once you realize that, you're like, oh, this makes perfect sense. This is fucking great, actually. Like, these guys are ripping these songs. It rules.
So I did not know that these bands had influence on Guns N' Roses, because
They're all punk
I really
rockers,
like,
man. Like Duff, especially.
I like Guns N' Roses a lot, but like I never got like enough into lore and stuff like that. But for me, like, the kind of rock and roll Guns N' Roses was playing is like the antithesis of all these bands that they were covering. So like, this album's fucking straight up bananas to me. Like,
Dude, it's pretty cuckoo.
it's
Yeah.
fucking cuckoo magoo. Like, I always associate like Guns N' Roses with like fucking arena ass rock and roll, and then you're like covering Fear.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you something. Lee Ving has never asked anybody if they know where they are. Never happened.
It never happened.
And yeah, and like I don't know. Also, that feels like some weird, like I don't know what level of their drug intake was happening at this time, but there's
Most.
yeah, because
The
there's
most.
like definitely some like psychedelic brain damage, like Hail Satan bullshit happening on here with that like Zodiac killer message on the front of the spaghetti weddy on the front and shit.
then the Charles Manson song
Yeah,
at the end.
like
Oh,
what
yeah.
you know, what's going on, fellas?
So
I mean, I love the devil. Don't get me
What's
wrong.
your deal, friend?
I'm running with the devil. Ooh, baby, tell me one more time. But
you're being possessed by David Lee Roth through the devil.
yeah. But it just, you know, it seems like some real conspiracy theory Reddit shit.
Oh no, they comment. Well, number one, yes, of course this album was gonna be bananas. It's got spaghetti on the cover. Like it's already food, so you know you're in for a weird time, which I appreciate that they let me know by showing that there's spaghetti on the front. They're like, it's gonna be weird, and I'm like, all right. But they did comment on like the Charles Manson thing, and they were like, they just did it to be pains in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
no
were-
shit.
Which is extremely Reddit.
Yeah.
It's extremely Reddit. They were like, it'd be funny if we covered. That's exactly what they did, and then Slash later was like, yeah, we should have done that. But before they released the album, the cover was supposed to be removed with every re-release of this album. They keep not doing it, but they give so much money to just like all of these charities to apologize for all of for these
being dumbasses.
for being dumbasses. They're
I
like,
just love
all
Dude,
the
like,
proceeds
that's
are
what Guns N'
going
Roses
to.
always was, though, man. Like they were a bunch of
Yeah.
idiots, like who were a really good
truly.
band when they all got together, and like they always wanted
Yeah.
to be they were way more offensive than any other band that was in their scene, like that, and they meant to do that on purpose, but like it just came across as like they were trying too hard a lot of times. But that's
Yeah,
that's
100%.
where they came from. They came from that like punk rock thing where it was like, fuck you, I don't care about you, like, and they just. But then they got so freaking big that it became like kind of clowny to do that, but they kept doing it. And
Yeah,
It's really funny
But
to
that-
picture Slash every time they're trying to re-release this album, just being like, "All right, we're gonna get rid of that Manson song." Oh shit, my the button's not doing it. Sorry guys, we just gotta.
It's just coming out of
It's
the
coming
machine.
out, man. I'm sorry, I missed.
Next time.
Sorry.
The leaky missed.
Yeah,
We'll get it when it's on mini disc.
yeah.
Did
But
anybody want to tell the story of how the name happened? Because I only learned it today. I never knew, and I just learned it.
I mean, you have to do it now. Go for it, Drew.
So I was a big Guns N' Roses fan, and so were a lot of my friends growing up. And this is like pre-Wikipedia, so like we just had to be like, wow, the spaghetti incident. What does it mean? It could be anything. And the story is really crazy because apparently, like, so they kicked the original drummer. What's his name? Is that not Matt? The one before Matt?
Steven Adler.
Steve.
Adler, yeah. So like they kicked Steven out of the band, and then he sued them, basically saying like they kicked me out for drug use, but they turned me into a drug addict. And so apparently they had all shared an apartment in Chicago at one point, and they would put all their leftovers in the fridge, and Steven would put his drugs in the fridge, and he started, because they were eating so much Italian food, he would start calling his drugs spaghetti. And so in court, while Guns N' Roses are being sued, Duff is like at the stand being cross-examined, and the lawyer just goes, "So tell us about the spaghetti incident," which is supposed to be like a way of saying like, so tell me about how your friend was addicted to drugs because you made him addicted to drugs. But instead, this guy's just like, haha, that's funny. Let's name the album after this because we're 4 years away from all being sober because we all overdosed and almost died.
That's so fucking stupid.
I actually
one
I
of the-
did not know that, and that is awesome.
I learned that this morning.
No, that
which is
rules.
I
great.
did not know that. That fucking rules.
That's why it's in
dumb.
quotes, because it's what the lawyer said. They're making fun of the lawyer, and Steven Adler's still not in the band, so I guess fuck him too.
I feel so bad because one of my positives for this album was going to be there are some sick fucking drum fills. Steven Adler is kicking ass on this album.
It's not him. It's Matt Sorum.
I didn't know it wasn't him. I was like,
Yeah, fuck you, Steven.
yeah, at like the
Yeah, dude.
at like the end of one of the covers, there's just like fucking crazy double bass, and the song gets really fast. It rules. But
Matt's a
it's
great
super
drummer,
sad.
Yeah, dude. Maybe you should have thought about
Sorry,
fucking
Steven.
not doing drugs.
Sorry, Steven.
Steven got shit on
I
a
feel
lot
really
in that
bad.
band, man. You know the story about Rocket Queen, right? No?
No,
I don't.
Tell
You
me
know.
the
So
story
you know the song
of
Rocket Queen from Appetite.
Yes.
There's
Wait,
in the middle.
before you get
sorry.
into it, before you get into it, because you're about to ruin the song for me. For me-
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, because to me, forever, I've always described this song as like a positive because I was like, look, it's the first song from the 80s from like a kind of hair band that's about falling in love with a woman who's older than you. It's the first one. It's the only one that isn't sort of pedophilic. So please ruin the song for me now, Billy.
Oh, I hope it's actually just
feel
about a
bad now.
rocket.
No, go for it.
Oh. Okay, so there is a section in the song like the bridge-ish section. Like there's like this kind of like jammy section where you can hear like basically sex noises happening.
Yes.
So those noises, how they got those. Now, this is just the story, so who knows if, I think certain people have backed this up. They were around the band at the time. But the story goes is that this was Axl in the studio. He, at some point, I guess, the rest of the band wasn't there. It was him and Steven. So I might be fucking the story up, but this is how it goes. He got Steven to leave, and then Steven's girlfriend was there at the time. So, Axl basically convinces Steven to go run an errand or something like that. He ends up fucking Steven's girlfriend while the tape is rolling. That gets recorded. And then he uses that. He puts that in on the song without telling Steven about it.
Well, no wonder that dude quit the band.
I know, and that's what I'm saying is I feel so bad for Steven. I'm like, dude, you got the worst deal. Like, holy shit.
He's not even... You got the
And
worst
now
deal, you got
everyone
the
in the
most
world gets to hear Axl fucking your girlfriend. Everyone.
Dude, that's like some The Dirt shit. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
It's garbage. No, these are garbage humans. Like, they're terrible. I'm not. I don't condone any of these people, but their records
Oh
are
yeah,
so good.
any man rocking a bandana that high up the hairline, I'm like,
Yeah.
I do not trust you, sir. No, sirree.
No.
You were fucking You were lying to me about your bald face.
Yeah, just wear a wig.
You think
Grow
you
up.
ever, do you think Axl has sex in the oxygen tent?
I don't think Axl has had sex since the MTV Awards when Jimmy Fallon brought them back.
I think you greatly underestimate how crazy people are.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of
Who
people.
will fuck Axl Rose no matter the condition.
Yeah,
I do it.
absolutely.
I do
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
I'm not saying there aren't people who want to fuck Axl Rose. I think that Axl Rose is
Unable to.
is unable to fuck. I think that just
He's
the
taking up
drugs
a
and the
Volcel lifestyle.
yeah, I
to focus on
100%.
Chinese democracy.
He's just too sad now. He's like
He could probably fix his whole blood pressure situation and learn how to fuck again if he would drop some of those layers. Because he looks like Hey Arnold if he was in Sons of Anarchy. He always has a flannel tied around his waist as an accessory.
I know.
That's incredible.
It looks insane. Yeah, the way the entire band dresses, it's so weird that what happened to hair metal bands where they were all drag queens in the 80s. By the way, that's what when we all wanted to dress like hair bands. You too,
Oh, yeah.
Billy. It's really just that we all wanted to do drag, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I did eyeliner and everything.
Yeah, shit rules. But I don't know when it happened where hair bands started to just dress like with like big button-down shirts and like gigantic silver like jewelry.
The 90s, baby.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're nostalgic for the 90s, but it was ugly as fuck.
Dude, it was, right?
No one
I
knew what
don't
they were-
like the
Yeah.
90s. I was a kid in the 90s. The 90s were not cool, like, at all.
It was just ugly. It was just an
Yeah,
ugly
everything sucked.
aesthetic, and that's what gave birth to what is still happening. Why all these aging rock stars are wearing these fucking button-ups with big ugly flames on them and weird
the
bandanas and
flames.
fucking
Ah,
iron
gross.
crosses on their jackets, and it's just like, get back away from the bedazzler. Fucking
Yeah.
Nikki, get away.
Yeah, everyone's got like a fedora that's made out of like 18 different types of leather for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like a Frankenstein fedora.
Oy vey. Yeah, it's bad.
Like fucking Neil from Motley Crue is just coming out wearing a replica of the talking hat from Harry Potter or whatever.
Sorting hat.
That's what they dress. I don't know what they
dude,
think
that's
they
what.
look.
Wait. That's Slash's hat.
Your
What is he
house
wearing
is
it?
the cemetery. You should be dead.
You put Slash's hat on and it like coughs. It tells you what drug you're gonna die from.
Wait, Slash's hat tells you what drug you're gonna die
Yeah,
from?
it tells you what drug you're gonna OD.
That's so good. I love that.
I was talking to someone about this last night, and with like rock guys from that era, there seems to be this kind of like kayfabe attitude, sort of like the same way that wrestlers have, where they're like true blue, where like if Slash showed up to an interview right now, he'd still be wearing those motherfucking sunglasses.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that's part of it too, where it's just like, I gotta wear shitty fucking leather outlet shit, or else they won't know it's me.
yeah.
I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly it.
If you saw Slash without his hat and without his sunglasses, you'd just be like, "What the fuck is that? Skinny Lawrence Fishburne? Who the hell is that?"
Do you have these
I mean,
written
honestly,
out, Drew?
It's
Sorry.
yeah. When did you? When was this writing session?
Why
that
does
I
the dude
missed?
from The Matrix have a tattoo of a naked woman?
I do love that about Slash is that he can just take the hat off and sunglasses and walk around and be fine.
Yeah.
That
no one
is
bothers him.
Not true. He dyes his hair to this day. I would be able to see Slash a mile away because I'm Jewish.
That's Slash. You could spot you.
He's one of ours. We got him.
The problem with
Swear
that,
to God.
Katie.
I swear to God, I saw Slash in a Whole Foods in Seattle in 2012.
No, that's not true because
That's
Jewish
totally true.
the Jewish detection power only works if you are in a Macy's or a Bloomingdale's. That's the only time though. I saw Slash at Bloomingdale's. Then you're right. You saw Slash at Whole Foods. Fucking no, you didn't.
Do you think
It was someone else.
All right,
It was
man.
someone
All right,
else
I guess
wearing a
I did.
hat and too many scarves. That's what's going on.
Damn, yo.
Do you think Slash has like a tattoo of like the graphic off the side of one of those old airbrushed vans?
No.
I
he's
like
not
to
the
picture
type.
him like picking up his shirt and like he has like a full wraparound of like a wizard with like a bong in its hand and whatever.
Oh, no. Wrong stereotype. It's like faded thorny roses and
Yeah.
crosses and
Oh,
shit.
he's just covered in like fucking
It's only
like
roses.
Trigun type tattoo.
Yeah. Like, you got it. You are on vacation time,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
man, my brain's fucked.
Jeremy is struggling to stay
Let's
awake.
talk about this album a little
Let's
more.
talk about
though.
this album though. Like
We haven't talked.
we have tangented so much. Well, we were talking about Guns N' Roses and we talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
fashion,
yeah.
which is a huge thing
I
with
just
them.
want to talk about fucking. I mean, I will say this album was like.
Did you hate it?
No, it was fine. Like, I mean, we've listened to so much horrible garbage on this show that I feel I have Stockholm syndrome. So, like, honestly, when I listen to this totally listenable album by talented musicians, I'm like, great.
Yeah. That's
It's
how,
a delight. This album is a delight.
It would-
isn't
It
Like,
is.
It's just fun.
More what I reacted to is just how weird it is that it exists. Like musically great, and there was even tracks I even enjoyed, but I will say it's fucking bizarre.
right, but this I think is this for I like the narrative of this podcast has been for me like trying to figure out why Jeremy likes a Guns N' Roses but doesn't like a Van Halen, and it's because I think this cover album proves why is because Guns N' Roses comes from all of this punk and is flat and just is punk but has the flash of hair metal.
Yeah.
But if Van Halen did a covers album, it would be all James Brown. Like that would be every cover.
Van
he
Halen
did.
has done so many covers, and they're all
Right.
like the Kinks or doo-wop or the theme from some what's that cowboy
Muppet
show?
Babies.
Happy Trails at the end.
The Muppet Babies.
Are you serious?
No, they didn't do the
No.
Muppet Babies.
Jeremy
ruled out.
Hammond, why would you do that to me? That
I
was
do.
so mean. I got
Here-
so excited.
Katie, I'll make it up to you. Our theme song is Van Halen doing the Muppet Babies.
Yeah,
I know. You've already done me so many favors and just recorded stuff that I just dreamed of. Half the show is just me being like, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Jordan!
Oh yeah, fucking Uptown Bird.
Oh my god.
Uptown Bird.
I would listen to that like 50 times in a row.
It's good. It would rule. But I think like, yeah, am I right? Like this is like, I think this mathematically adds up.
Yeah,
why you would
yeah,
like
no,
a
you're
Guns N'
right.
Roses.
I think you're right about kind of like why I like Guns N' Roses over Van Halen. But what I find interesting about this, given that framework, which I agree with you is true, is that I didn't really like this album very much. You'd think I would. It really seems
it
like I
makes-
should have, but I didn't.
I
It
think
makes
really.
sense
for
that you
us,
don't like
it's
it.
hard to listen to because what we like about these bands is the raw emotion, and this
Yeah.
just sounded like people have like fucking around, like talently, like it's very talented and joyous, and they're
Yeah,
having
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But like what I like about a lot of the tracks they cover is about how the original tracks are so dark and like sad, even when they're upbeat, and like
Right.
I feel like a lot of the original soul of them got squeezed out, but I did still really enjoy listening to it.
Yeah.
It's just like a different experience for me.
Let's take it track by track because the first track I think is the one that I can kind of talk the most about.
It's so weird. It's,
What a weird
'cause this
first track.
coming back to something Jordan you had said earlier was that when I was listening to this earlier today, I had never listened to this album before. I didn't really know anything about it, and I didn't realize that it was a covers album at first. And so all I knew was like, this is the one that everybody always said really sucks. And so when that first song starts, I was just like, oh, I see why. What the fuck?
Oh.
Well, the first song is so weird because it really shows off like Guns N' Roses is such a strange anomaly. Like, don't get me wrong, Guns N' Roses fucking rule. I love Guns N' Roses, but it is a little strange that they are like one of the like top 5 biggest selling bands of all time. Because when you hear this song and there's no guitars to hide Axl Rose, you're just like, what the fuck is this Warner Brothers Looney Tunes bullshit? Like this guy sings like he's like a cartoon rabbit.
The
You know,
synths
it doesn't
on
make any
this
sense.
were crazy. The
Were
keyboard
crazy.
tones, that was like bananas. That took me aback.
I also don't know the original song of this, and I
Well,
didn't
the
look
original is Since I Don't Have You, which is just like an old 50s doo-wop song.
That's what I
think it was
figured.
The Skyliners, I want to say. It was
Yeah,
just some
Skyliners.
old doo-wop group that wasn't super well known, but like.
I mean, it's clearly like if they're doing like a cover album that influenced them, it's definitely like probably like Axl's mom listened to it or something. And it's just interesting because like I love the Van Halen cover of Roy Orbison. I love Pretty Woman because they added so much fucking chutzpah to it.
Yeah.
And this is so like thin and strange. It just feels like Axl Rose like at a piano bar, like be like asking people to buy wine, you know?
That's exactly it.
Axl, based on like this song and every other track that we had to listen to on Chinese Democracy, I think it's just clear that Axl Rose wants the world to see his voice like Tina Turner when he needs to understand that we view his voice like a Tom Waits, where it's a novelty
Yes.
that we have accepted that matches the music. You do not have a beautiful voice, Axl. It fucking rules. It rules, but you are a character like a Tom Waits.
Yes, exactly. Truer words have never been spoken on this podcast.
And
Other than, all right, we're done.
And I
Like
love Tom
dazzled
Waits, so
Muppet.
I love
Man.
Tom Waits too.
Let's just keep going down. That farm song, I learned so much about pigs and horses. I love farms.
I loved the farm song.
Loved it.
Loved it. It's just like, it's hard to come when you're on a farm. I loved it. I sure like
true.
to fuck, but I'm here on the farm.
Yeah, and this is a prime example of how this track was thoroughly enjoyable to me, but you can just see how the punk version made way more sense.
Totally.
Contextually.
Yeah.
So this song, if I'm not mistaken, this is the band I don't really know that well, but it was the UK Subs.
UK
Yes.
Subs, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is the one where Axl's basically putting on a fake British accent.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Loved
so
it.
funny.
So that's
Loved it.
weird right off the bat and corny.
Love
but
it.
it kind of works.
It does
Like,
work.
I don't.
Several times in this album, I had to double check that there weren't guest vocalists because that's what he was doing this whole thing. He's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I was Iggy Pop? Or like whatever.
There are other people who sing, but
Okay.
they're in the band. Like Duff sings a few, I think.
Yeah.
But this one, no. This one's definitely Axl just being silly as hell.
Yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
it is fun to listen to. I was just like, okay.
This is Give Us Some Reggae, the song. He's just going off. But here's the thing with me is I unapologetically love every single Guns N' Roses cover. I love all of them. I think there's something that just is really fun to listen to in all of them. Like, even if it's just like the vocals don't really give a shit or whatever, or are weird, there's something that's just always kind of, there's so much fuck yeah in every cover. Even the Rolling Stones one that they also hate, like Sympathy for the Devil, that was like only released on like their greatest hits thing, I think is also really fun.
Yeah, totally.
A weird fact about that cover, it kind of inspired the way that I put together the SNL intro that we did for episode 5 on 2 minutes. When we did like the guitar shreddy version of the SNL intro, it was me kind of copying the structure of how Guns N' Roses did Sympathy for the Devil.
Awesome.
That's it. I think every one of these songs is, even if it's weird, it has like I'd watch a car crash to that.
I mean, the next song, Human Being, is so fucking good. It's so good.
Dude, yes,
I
yes.
love
That's the New York Dolls song, man. Dude, yes. Okay, so I'm a huge New York Dolls and Johnny Thunders fan. Like, so yeah, these are like some of the most fun tracks for me are this one, and then like I guess later on we'll get to it, but the You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory.
That was
Johnny
my
Thunders'
favorite
solo song, which is one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah. Dude, New York Dolls is so good. It's funny because Anthony Bourdain got me into New York Dolls. He was talking about being the best band ever.
And that's why he ruled.
Yeah, man.
R.I.P.
I learned 2 things from Anthony Bourdain, actually. I learned 1, the New York Dolls are the best band in the world, and 2, Paris is a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to kill myself there.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Drew
I'm gonna go cry now. I'll be
Kaufman, put your joke book away.
Also, I don't think he was in Paris.
The kazoos at the end,
Yes.
instead of the saxophones, is the best thing in the
Oh
world.
my god, dude! That's
So
one
good.
of the most what the fuck moments on the whole record. And
Love
I
it.
love
It makes the most sense. You're just like,
It's
these
almost like, okay, so you know how they tag every song, like almost every song has a tag at the end of it where Axl just like goes off, like he was just like, keep it rolling, I'm gonna do some crazy vocal shit. Yeah, all right. Oh. And like you're like, oh, you're still going, you're still doing this, huh? But then that one ends with a kazoo.
Yeah,
and
and
you're
he
like,
goofs
oh, that's
a lot.
the nice difference.
And there's a lot, like, we're done recording, but we're still having a goof.
Yeah, like at the end of Hair of the Dog. At the end of Hair of the Dog, one of the, I think Slash starts playing very slowly, starts playing the Beatles.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
just goes-
but yeah, what is that one song?
Day Tripper.
While my guitar gently jerks off.
While my guitar gently fucks the drummer's girlfriend.
Womp, womp.
Goofy. Goofy movie over here, guys.
We gotta, before we skip even, I want to talk about New Rose because I love The Damned, but I didn't love this version of it. There's just something that it wasn't goofy enough. It didn't kick the original's version's ass enough. It was just fine.
Yeah.
It was what I expected a Guns N' Roses cover. There wasn't, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how
I would agree with that. Like, it's kind of the most forgettable one. On
Yeah.
the record for me.
I think that's why we skipped it, but I just wanted to talk about it because I do love The Damned.
I just skipped it because I have dyslexia and I read the track listing wrong.
Raw Power was who's the other?
Yeah, who was the other singer?
Was this Duff on this one, or
No,
is
this
this
might have been
Ax-
Duff. Yeah, Duff sang a few of these. I think he did like this.
He did
Did
this
he
and
do the Raw Power one? I think he did that one. He did the
Attitude.
Misfits song. He did Attitude. He did the Johnny Thunder song. You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. And
With
maybe
that
one
kicked
more?
ass.
I don't know.
I really this is skipping ahead. I was so disappointed at it when I was a kid the first time. The only song I knew on here was that Attitude was a Misfits song, and it broke my heart that Duff sang it. Like, I love Duff. I love Duff, but
I was going to make the case that this record kind of shows that maybe Duff should have been the lead singer in this band. Because I love him.
I love him too, but I just, based on when you hear Guns N' Roses cover the Misfits, you don't want Duff. You want attitude. Yes, attitude.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would
you want it
think that-
so bad.
I would think he would do low axle.
Attitude.
Yeah.
I got some fucking attitude. Can't believe what you said. Yeah.
I think it's low axle for
That
sure.
is too good.
That's
Yeah.
very much like ordering fast food voice.
Yeah.
Sir.
I want some French fries.
Yep.
Mega Mammal style.
Yeah.
Applesauce. I know that's not fast food, but it's the same.
You can get it at Burger King.
Gonna need a crunch.
Real quick, back to Raw Power for a second. I just want to point out that the first like 3 times they went into the chorus, I thought he was saying Ron Paul, not Raw Power. Which makes sense actually with what I know about Duff.
Oh my god, that makes the song so much better.
He
Big-
loves a gold bar standard.
Why? Okay,
Yeah.
so we
And
had.
Amazon.com.
That was a Ron Paul joke, everyone.
Yes.
Just letting you know. No one laughed, and it was great.
I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out how to pronounce Buick McCann. Buick McCain. John McCain's Buick.
Yeah.
Is that what it
Because,
is?
that was a T-Rex. That's the T-Rex song.
Yeah.
And we all know that Mark Bolan really just wants to fuck cars.
That's
listen
true.
to all his songs.
Yeah.
That's what happened to him actually.
This is
You
him
think-
Actually,
asking a
that's how
car
John
to be his
McCain died.
girlfriend.
That's how John McCain and Mark Bolan died.
They fucked cars.
They fucked Buicks.
Yeah.
This is my daughter, Buick McCain, and she's part car.
She also sucks.
Because he does. Isn't that the thing that he had an illegitimate child or something like that?
Yep.
John McCain?
Yep.
Yeah.
What I was very
With a car.
confused when this turned into Big Dumb Sex by Soundgarden at the end.
Yeah.
Because I also
good.
didn't know. I was for a minute because this album came out in '93, but since it was, I was like, there was a moment where I was like, I don't think Soundgarden wrote that song yet. So how is this happening?
I thought I sat on my phone.
No, that's definitely the weirdest one. Yeah, Big Dumb Sex. Like, it just kind of transitions into that, and you're like, oh, they're doing Soundgarden, but like, no, like, I mean, the timeline's right. Like, I guess that song came out years before.
Yeah.
This one did. I think it was
Like
like that was like late '80s Soundgarden, wasn't it?
Yep,
Am I wrong about
it's
that? Yeah.
Louder Than Love. Yeah, it was '89 or something. I think.
I think it's cool that they threw that in there though, because like if you do a cover that's too close to like the year that you're releasing the cover, you either look like you're trying to cash in, like, or you're Weird Al.
Yup. Yup.
And Weird Al is cashing in, but that's part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's part of his
Weird
whole...
Al sold out, dude. I remember back when he used to just hit an accordion case.
I remember Weird Al recording in bathrooms for a whole record.
Oh boy.
Hair of the Dog rules, rips.
Yes.
So good.
Well, that song just fucking rips no matter who's playing it. It's awesome.
I love it. It is super funny that he like asks for a lot of volume at the beginning of the song, and you're like, I expected him to just come in and go like, Heartbreaker Soul Shaker, and like hit it really high, but he just comes in and half-asses it the whole time.
Yeah,
which
he
I'm
totally
still
does, which is fucked because like, okay, so here's my theory. I could be wrong, but I think that Axl Rose stole his entire shtick from Dan McCafferty of Nazareth. I think he just stole his entire thing from that guy. Like listen to like Nazareth records. It's like Axl before Axl was Axl.
That
Oh, yeah.
totally checks
Like
out.
just that Heartbreaker Soul Shaker. I mean, that's what the guy from Nazareth sounds like. I mean,
Yeah.
And so like I hear that and I'm like, and I love Nazareth, but like I think Axl stole his entire fucking thing from that. And then so here they are covering Hair of the Dog, and he comes in just literally what Jordan just said, half-assing it. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This is like your favorite band, man, right?
Yeah, it should be. Well, here the other thing, he also stole his the voice. I think he's like a combination of Nazareth and also AC/DC, and he basically covered. He was in AC/DC for 3 months, and then covered Nazareth. So he's like, I don't know. He's living the dream, I guess. But I just was surprised. I was surprised that he didn't go full Dan on the song, but I also appreciate that he sang it a little differently, and it still kind of works. Like, I still like it. It still kind of whips ass.
Yeah, true. I mean, I
Son
still
of a
love it.
bitch!
It's cool.
Yeah. What'd you think, Drew?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. Have we talked about Axl in AC/DC yet on the podcast?
No, we have not.
In theory, it's kind of fucking cool.
It's so sick.
I gotta agree, man. Like, yeah, like I when I first heard that he was doing that, I was like, kind of initially, I think like everyone was like, what the fuck? And also like, I mean, come on, dude. Like Brian Johnson, like also like, you know, I mean, like I'm a huge Bon Scott fan, so I don't think anyone's ever gonna be better than him. But like,
No.
but still. It was like, what the fuck, Axl? Really? Axl's a fucking joke now. Like there's no way he can pull that off. And then I saw some video footage of him doing it with him, and I was like, dude is totally pulling it off. Dude is fucking ruling that shit. Like,
Yeah. From a wheelchair, too.
Oh, yeah!
He was in a wheelchair.
Forgot about
sometimes.
that.
Like David Lee Roth, no, it was Dave Grohl's wheelchair. But yeah, no, it's definitely like it was like a weird Marvel what if. Like, what if Axl Rose was in AC/DC? And we don't talk about it enough, but it is cool on paper. All right, do we want to talk? We already talked about Attitude. Anybody want to talk about Black Leather?
That's okay. I think we should do favorite tracks.
You want to do favorite tracks, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Katie, favorite track.
Mine was You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. I thought that was actually really enjoyable.
yes.
Yeah, and I actually was like surprised how like I'm probably going to listen to it again on the train. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, it really touched me.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
Germ.
Probably give it to either Raw Power or New Rose.
Okay. Cool. Drew.
Definitely Human Being, man. That song was cool.
It was-
And I love kazoos.
Yeah, I loved that shit. Billy.
you know, I think shit, I mean, like I picked this album because I like all of it, really. But
Yeah.
I gotta go with You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. I just love that song in general. It's one of my favorite songs, and I think Duff really did a good job singing it.
He did a great job.
It's such a heartfelt song. Like, I don't know, it's sad and beautiful and things that make me feel things I don't want to feel. So
Yeah.
I get drunk.
It was really Yeah, it's definitely a closing night
it's either,
song.
It's either that or one we actually didn't hit yet. I Don't Care About You, the last one.
I like that song.
Because I'm a
too.
huge
Yeah, it's
Fear
really
fan.
good.
I love
Yeah,
that
dude.
shit. I think they're just the most snotty, snarling, asshole punk band for me. Like, I
so
love Fear,
good.
so like, and I think they ruled that cover. So
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Yeah, that cover did rule. I'm gonna give it to either Human Being or Down on the Farm because I laughed so hard listening to Down on the Farm.
Yeah.
I was having a great time. But yeah, that's it. I don't know this. I think this album. This is an album we've done on this podcast that I think just has a bad rap. I think it's tied to a bad memory of Guns N' Roses breaking up and being shitheads. But I think as far as cover records, it's a pretty good cover record.
Yeah, it was pretty enjoyable.
For what you want. I mean, usually almost every cover record is a letdown.
Yeah.
You see the track list, you imagine how the band's going to do it, and you're like, oh, man, that's going to rule. And then the cover
I
record...
usually just get sick immediately when I hear about it. I'm like, that's just a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
If I like your band at all, I'm like, oh, please don't put out a cover record. Just don't fucking do it. You'll make me hate you. This one's a step above, man.
Yeah, for sure.
The general public, I think, just doesn't tend to respond very well to cover records.
Which
Yeah,
makes
I think
sense.
that's kind of what it is. Yeah, is like it always kind of feels like it's like the death rattle of a band. It's like this is kind of like this is gonna be your last thing probably.
Is it? Who else has gone out on a cover record?
The other one I think of is Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think cover albums are kind of like the last vestige of the old world, though, because the cover record kind of went away after the internet because there's so many, like, you can see so many goddamn covers online, you know? WikiLeaks? I don't know. But I think that, I just like something that I'm aware of is I think that, like, most bands will put out, like, one cover in their entire lifetime, like a fully properly recorded cover, and for the most part they just save it for like live performances.
Yep.
Plugs?
Plugs.
Billy.
Billy, plug your band. Plug yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Billy. I'm in a band called Cloak. If that hasn't been established already, we're doing some stuff. We have a record coming out October 25th on Season of Mist, and we have tours coming up, but I don't think I'm allowed to talk about them yet. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not really sure. I don't know. There's too many rules in this business. But yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. We just put out. We're doing like 3 lead singles up to the record. The first one came out like a month ago called Tempter's Call. We're doing videos for all the singles too. So like you can find all these on YouTube. Go watch them. The latest one is called Into the Storm. It just came out last week. It's gotten some really, really good response, I guess, so far. So, like, I'm pretty stoked about it. But yeah, anyway, check out my band. Y'all, cool. Thank you. Or don't. I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't fucking need you. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Fuck your mother.
Billy, can you tell the folks at home about the social media tags so that they can tell you to go fuck yourself on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook?
My bad. Yeah. Yeah, we're on Instagram. It's Cloak_Atlanta. And then we're on Facebook, Cloak. We're not on Twitter.
Good for you.
I haven't figured that out yet. I don't think anyone else in my band has or really cares. So
yeah, it's for some reason still SpongeBob memes, and the rest is yelling. So you're fine.
Cool. I'm not missing much. All right.
Nope. Katie.
You can find me on Twitter at Katie Rose or on Instagram at Oh Hello Katie Rose. Please listen to my other podcast I do with old Jeremy called
Hello.
Ballin' Out
Super.
Super. You'll love to see it. Jeremy.
Yeah, same plug, but the Twitter is at Jeremy Thunder. The rest is the same.
Great. I guess we're going to Philly to be at an anime
Oh
convention.
yeah, we're doing a live
what-
show in Philly next month, the week before we leave for Fest. We're going to be in Philly at an anime convention, maybe at a
Up top.
women's health center, maybe at
A
a
gymnasium.
LGBT, community center. I
We'll
don't remember
probably
which
do
one it
stand up
is.
too, so keep
Yeah,
tabs on us
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah. Drew.
Hey, this is Drew Coleman. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Diane_Hellboy. Buy my prints. I won't be at the anime convention, but if I was, I'd probably have a good time.
You probably would.
Make up your mind.
I never have a good time.
Oh my God,
Okay.
Jordan.
All right. Have a good time by following us on Instagram at 2 Minutes to Late Night, on Twitter at 2M2LN. Please buy our merch at terriercult.com. Go to Terrier Cult, go to Friends, go to 2 Minutes to Late Night. We got a bunch of new shirts. We got towels. We got fanny packs. We got way too much stuff. Check it out. Buy our scent from Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. It smells like black leather, grease paint, and aftershave. Great combination of smells for some reason. It's great. It's
totally
for all
wear
the
that.
genders.
And even easier than going to remembering all that crap, go to honorableswords.com. There's a link to the shirts. There's a link to the Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab signature scent. There's a link to our YouTube. There's a link for everything. Wow, honorableswords.com.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Are you tired of going to the post office?
I'm sorry.
Go to
can you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
honorableswords.com.
Honorableswords.com. Click the microphone at the top of the page. Podcast jokes. Bye. Yeah, Billy, you want to clap into your mic?
Okay, I'll clap into my mic. How many do you need?
Just one. One clap.
I clapped.
We got it.
Can you do it one more time? I'm not sure if I got it.
Okay, second sticks.
All right.
I definitely got that.
Hell yeah.
Woo.
Sick.
All
We
right.
got the clap.
Let's go.
Oh man, I got that once.
Really?
Rock and roll, baby!
Yeah, nice.
It's just
We don't have to
Sick.
talk about it.
it's just a pill.
Here's the thing.
You
This is a
guys.
podcast. That's all we.
I never remember which one.
That's all we
I
can do
think
is
it's
talk about.
chlamydia, right?
Isn't that what like killed poets and stuff back in the
The
day?
clap, but yeah, it's like you know how they would call tuberculosis consumption?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like a cute old timey name for it.
Yeah, it's like it's not syphilis. It's the clap. Aww.
Yeah.
Oh.
Clap your hands and say, "Oh no, I need penicillin."
Yeah. soon, like every terrible disease eventually gets like a really cute name for it. Like,
Oh,
eventually,
this is an old bit of ours.
It really is.
is it?
Yeah, me and Jeremy had a childhood joke, as in like when we were 12, about renaming horrible diseases cute things.
Yeah,
Oh.
the tumors were pony puffs.
Yeah.
Aww. You guys are so
I was
cute.
gonna say like a few years from now, people are gonna be like, oh, they have. It's instead of chlamydia, it's just gonna be like, no, she's got the bread. Got a case of
bread.
the bread.
That's
Man,
disgusting.
I kind of want the bread.
All right, start the show.
It sounds
All right.
delicious.